Good morning, guys. Today we are going to see one more interesting topic. It's called interview. See, what is interview? So before going to this topic, kindly use your headphone for a better voice quality. Thank you. So, what is interview? Interview is a formal meeting or conversation between employer and job applicant or job seeker or the employee. See, interview is usually conducted at the employer place. The purpose of an interview is to determine if a candidate will be selected for the position he is interviewing for. And selection interview is usually harder than a screening interview. At this point, a company is trying to decide whether you should move to the next step in the hiring process or if an offer is being extended. So there will be more scrutiny than a screening interview. So the agency wants to know, or the employer wants to know whether the job seeker deserves a job or the job seeker good cultural fit. Can he make an impact right away? Or do you need the employee need any training? The questions will be more specific and your answers need to be more detailed. Now, what is interview now? I think you better understand what is interview. This is the final stage of a selection process. See, there might be a screening interview at the beginning of the selection process, but the selection interview is the final step. So, in this particular step, the employer will decide whether the employee will be selected or rejected. So there will be more scrutiny in this particular stage. So the employer or the HR or human resources manager will ask n number of questions and they will try to extract what are the possible things they can able to extract from the employee. They will do it. So because they want to assess the employee whether the employee will fit for this particular job or not, whether he will sustain this job, whether he will adapt to the situation, whether the timing will suit you or not. These are the things the HR will decide at the time of interview. See, different types of interview. See, there are majorly there are some six types of interviews are there, but apart from the major six types, there are other types of interviews are there. Now we are going to see what are the different types of interviews, and one more interview is there that is called exit interview. Even if an employee wants to exit from the company, HR will arrange for an interview. That is exit interview that we will discuss in the upcoming session. Now, types of interview. First one is structured interview. Second one is unstructured interview. Panel interview or what we call panel discussion. Group discussion or group interview. Telephonic interview or nowadays online interview. In-depth interview. It is called or else it's called depth interview. Behavioral interview. Dining interview. Stress interview. Finally, exit interview. Now we will discuss the types of interview one by one. Structured interview. What is structured interview? A structured interview is an assessment method designed to measure job related competencies of candidates by systematically inquiring about their behavior in past experiences and or their proposed behavior in hypothetical situations. Generally speaking, structured interviews ensure candidates have equal opportunities to provide information and are assessed accurately and consistently. Structured interviews are popular because they are more personal than other assessment methods. See, in structured interview, the HRM will ask the past experience. See, the same question the HRM will ask to all the job seekers, and they will ask, they will create a hypothetical situation, and they will ask the employee to solve the situation or how they are going to handle the situation. This is again, they will ask the same question to all the employees. Why one question to all the employees? Because they have to provide equal opportunities to the employees. That is the reason why they are asking the same question to the all employees or the job seekers. See, for example, if suppose there are 10 employees or 10 job seekers coming for an interview, that is going to be a structured interview, which means they will be asked to write about something, and the question paper will be same question paper will be given to all the candidates. So based on the answers given by the candidates, whether the candidate will be selected or rejected will be decided by the HRM. This is called structured interview. Now we move on to unstructured interview. See, an unstructured interview is an interview in which there is no specific set of predetermined questions, although the interviewers usually have certain topics in mind and they wish to cover during the interview. Unstructured interviews flow like everyday conversation and tend to be more informal and open minded. This is in contrast to a structured interview when a list of predetermined questions is used. See, in structured interview, they will ask the predetermined questions, or already they have a set of questions, and the same question will be answered to all the candidates. But in unstructured interview, this is more or like a casual interview. In this type of interview, the HR manager will ask different questions to the employees. So they will not set any specific set of questions. Usually, they will not select any questions, or they will not ask one question to all the employees. They will ask different questions to the different employees. So the unstructured interviews flow like an everyday conversation. So the HR manager will not take interview like a formal one. Instead, casually you will ask few questions based on the answers given by the candidate. Whether the candidate is moving to the next stage or not will be determined by the human resources manager. This is called unstructured interview. Third one is panel interview. See, panel interview is nothing but a panel of interviews will be interviewing you in panel interview. Say, for example, what will happen if suppose if any of you guys wants to do your IAS or IPS, so you have to pass the examination, UPSC examination. You have to clear preliminary exam. You have to clear the main exam. Once you clear the preliminary exam and once you clear the main exam, you will be asked to take up the panel interview. In that particular panel, there are a lot of experts. There are a lot of experts will be asking the questions. So, for example, I'll tell you my own experience. See, I went for an interview in an army school. It was a panel interview for Indian Army School. There was 20 members sitting in that panel. Each one was asking different questions, and they will not give time as well to think. One expert will ask you question from history, one expert will ask you question from geography, one expert will ask you questions from economic. So different types of questions you have to answer different types of questions from the different type of people. That is called panel interview. So a panel interview Panel of interviewers will be interviewing panel interview. The panel may consist of various representatives of the company like the management, human resources, team leaders, and other employees. A company usually conducts a panel interview to save time and get good collective responses from the panel regarding the candidates. Each panel member may ask their individual questions that are related to their positions. So, see the important functions of the panel, the importance of panel interview is to conduct the panel interview as soon as possible, because if suppose if a guy is coming from sales, he should be interviewed by the sales manager, he will be interviewed by the HR manager at the same time, so that they will save the time. If each department is interviewing the candidate, it will take lot of time. So for time constraint, the panel interview is one of the best method. Next one is group interview. So what is group interview? Companies conduct group interviews because they can quickly pre-screen the candidates for their openings. See, group interview is nothing but a group discussion or GD section. The candidates can also to learn more about the company in a group interview. A group interview starts with a short presentation about the company, and later the interviewer will speak to each candidate and ask questions of them. In group interviews, the employer observes every candidate regarding how they interact with other candidates. They would check whether the candidate is an emerging leader or if he just concentrates on his work. So, based on a group interview, many things can be pre-screened and it would make the work easier. That is the reason why group discussion GD is conducted in college level. See, what is a major distinct for a need for a group interview or group discussion? The interviewer will observe the candidates whether they are actively participated or not. See, they will not bother about what you are telling, or they will not bother about how fast you are telling, whether you are speaking grammatically, or whether you are speaking good English or bad English. You are speaking with whether you are speaking in mother tongue or other language. That is secondary. The first major thing is whether you are actively participated in the group interview or not. So based on the activity of the interview candidate, the HR manager's role will become very easier. Out of 10 people they are interviewing, only 2 or 3 will speak frequently or without any problem. Remaining 7 will, out of the 7, 5 will not even open their mouth. 2 will slowly speak. They will, whether they are speaking or not, we don't know. But 2 guys or 3 guys will, when the group discussion is started, only 2 or 3 guys will start speaking till the interviewer says that, okay, that is enough. So that is the reason why group discussion is very much important. That is the reason why companies are conducting group discussions. Next one is telephonic interview. See, employers use telephonic interviews as a method of identity and recruit candidates for employment. Phone interviews are used to pre-screen candidates to narrow down the pool of candidates for personal interview. Normally, communication skills are judged on the phone interview, and other typical or behavioral questions can be asked. See, telephonic interview. What is telephonic interview? See, nowadays, first round of interviews in most companies, first round of interviews are happening only through telephone or Skype, and now social media. Whatever the latest technology is available, HR is using all the technologies. In telephonic interview, the interviewer will come to know whether the communication level of the candidate is good or not. Based on the communication level, they will go to the next step. This is called telephonic interview. Now we will go on to next level. It's called in-depth interview. What is in-depth interview or depth interview? See, depth interview is a semi-structured interview where the candidates have to give a detailed information about their educational background, work experience, special interest, etc. And the interview takes a depth interview and tries in finding the expertise of the candidate. See, for example, if suppose if the candidate is if it is an insurance company and the one candidate is coming for a salesman job or a sales manager's job in the insurance company, the HR manager will, which is having some experience with the previous insurance company. So what the HR will do, he will ask the policies, what are the policies available in the previous company, what is the premium available in the previous company, what are the benefits given by the previous company to the insurers. These are the things they will ask deeply because he's coming to the same sector from insurance sector to another company to the same insurance sector. So he might be having enormous knowledge. So the HR manager will test the knowledge of the insurance company of the employee. So this is called depth interview. Not only the education or not only the experience, or previous experience, they will also check the special interest, whether the employee is really interested in this particular sector or not. They will ask one question: why you are coming from the existing company? If the guy is saying that no, I'm not interested in that company, then which means he is not interested in job. Otherwise, if suppose if he is saying some other reasons like my package is very low, I'm not getting that much salary, or I'm not getting promotion for the past 5 years or 6 years, then there is our office is too far. I'm looking for a job in Chennai, but they placed me in Coimbatore. That is the reason why I'm shifting my job. These kind of reasons they will consider. Or else, if suppose if they are saying no, I'm not interested in that particular field, then the HR will ask why you are coming to the same field again. That is what that in-depth knowledge is all about. Next one is behavioral interview. What is behavioral interview? In a behavioral interview, a candidate's behavior is judged. The interviewer can discover how the candidate acts in specific employment related functions. It is important to maintain your behavior cool and answer questions confidently, but not to the extent that makes you appear overconfident. So, behavioral interview is nothing but they will test your behavior. How the HR manager will test your behavior. They will ask you one few questions like if suppose if there is something happen in your with your there is some problem with your subordinate, what you will do? Will you immediately inform to the manager, or will you send a mail to the HR, or will you speak directly to the subordinate and sort out this issue? These kind of questions they will ask. Based on the answers given by the candidate, the HR manager will come to know the behavior of the candidate. This is called behavioral interview. Next one is dining interview.